Have you ever seen anything so sexy in your life? Okay, seriously, I love getting art supplies in the mail. I recently placed a few orders with Jackson's Art, which is my favorite online retailer here in the UK. And no, I'm not sponsored. I wish I was because I spend so much dang money there. In the coming weeks, I'm going to be sharing a few different product reviews. This first box is something I've been looking forward to for so long. This box contains gouache. As you know, I love gouache, and I've never tried the Shinhan brand or the Schminke brand, even though I love Schminke watercolors. I don't know why it took me so long to order this. So we're gonna try it out. But to make it easier for my viewers, I'm going to split this review into two parts. This first part that you're watching now is going to be unboxing and testing the Shinhan Gouache, and in a day or two, I'll post the part 2 video, which will be the Schminke Gouache. And then when my other box arrives, we have done. So let's do it. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. So let's see what colors I got. I decided to go with the primaries just to be able to test it out. So we have a lemon yellow, a carmine, which is red obviously, and an ultramarine deep. And I also got these specific colors because I've never tried a carmine or a ultramarine deep. So if I'm trying a new brand, I wanted to try new colors as well. If I love them, they'll just be additional colors in my set. And if not, no harm done. Oh, and I forgot that I also ordered this moss green in the Shinhan Gouache. So a new color for me. Okay, I've got my Etcher sketchbook, which is one of my favorite sketchbooks to use when I'm swatching and just like playing around and not having any cares in the world. The paper is really nice actually, but I love it especially because it has a lot of texture, and so I can see a lot of variation in the pigments and see how, like if something is granulating, it'll show up really, really strongly on this paper. So yeah, let's find our blank page. I cannot resist the moss green any longer. Let's give it a try. So I'll do a little swatch, which will be thick and opaque, and then a little swatch, which will be watered down. Oh, it's really soft. All right, let's give it a go. Let me brighten the camera a little bit for you. Okay, that's a little bit better. And now let's try a watered down version. It's a lighter yellowish green when it's watered down. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna like that one. And let's also try like a wet swatch where I drop the color into a wet area, which is something I do a lot for my base layers. Let's try the ultramarine deep. It looks very similar to my regular ultramarine. Maybe it is a little bit darker in the mass tone, like where the most pigment is concentrated. Now let's water it down. It's nuts. I didn't get enough water on there. It's a pretty blue, of course. Let's go for the carmine. A watered down version. Ooh, that's actually kind of pinkish. It's almost like a quinacridone rose color. If you can see, that's really nice. I actually don't have, it's a really nice cross between red and rose. And last but not least, we're going with the yellow. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of the binder accumulated at the end of the tube. So I'll have to squeeze that out on a paper towel first. And now we have the pigment. I wanted to go with a cadmium yellow because even though I don't use cadmiums as often anymore, or like barely at all actually, I am very familiar with them from the past. So I know that when I compare a cadmium yellow, like I know what to expect. If it doesn't like live up to my standards, then it kind of is a signal to me about the brand. Anyways, oops, not enough. Didn't really give myself much room over here, did I? Cadmium yellows are very strong as well. And this one, I like lemon yellow more than any other yellow in any brand or medium because it gives you really clean mixes. Okay, so those are our 4 Shinhan Gouache colors. Now let's have some fun and do some color mixing and see what we can make with these. It's interesting when you look at the pigment names because like in the moss green, it's basically a yellow and a brown pigment mixed together, which makes sense because it's definitely more of an earthy green color. I definitely need to try mixing my green and my blue because I love seeing what kind of bluish greens I can get with the set. And I'll just try it with different intensities of blue mixed in. Ooh, that's really nice. It's not quite like a turquoise, but this would be a beautiful color for oceans, like coastal scenes. And of course, let's try blue and yellow. See how different it is from the moss green. Cadmiums are typically a little bit more opaque, which can be a good thing. You know, it totally depends on what you need. This would maybe be a good like leafy green color, but yeah, it's not much different than my other ones. Let's try a deep purple color. Ooh, it's like a plum. Beautiful, rich purple. Let's go for like a really reddish. Nice variations in purple there. Let's see what kind of neutrals we can get. So if you mix complementary colors, or three of the colors on your palette, you can go for like a brownish tone, and then we'll mix in more blue to turn it more gray. I mean, even if you took these 4 colors out, you could get so much variety. But honestly, I would also want a black, I think, in this set. How about some olive, grayish green? There's no rhyme or reason to my placement, by the way. I'm just kind of mixing things around. The olive green, or sorry, I keep calling it olive green. So moss green. And moss green, of course, is going to make everything lean more towards like an earthy version of itself. So maybe a bit more brownish or grayish. Oh, let's do an orange, obviously. That's a clear option. And I'll show you close-ups of all of these at the end of this swatch session. Ooh, I actually really like this orange. It's almost like a salmonish, salmon-y orange. I think because the red leans a bit more towards the rose side of things, it's more of a salmon. Really like those oranges, actually. And I haven't even added any white. So imagine all the variation you can get if you mixed in a little bit of white. You can get some really beautiful pastel or like a little bit less saturated versions of all of these. And then the same goes with black. You would get a little bit less saturation and a little bit deeper value. Could be really, really nice to take this set out for like limited palette day. Whenever I do these experimental mixing pages, I just try to do as much variation as I can just to see the range. When it comes to painting a scene like later on, I would just use my knowledge about color mixing to lean in one of these directions, but just having a page like this to quickly reference is super valuable for me. It's like a really deep grayish green. Purple and moss green. I actually really like that color. Let's do it a little watered down to see variation. Nice. Let's just do a light purple. So let's see a close-up now. I've been going on a lot of little forest walks lately, and oh my gosh, the colors, everything is just so beautiful right now. I'm gonna use just a little bit of my Winsor Newton white because I didn't order a Shinhan white. I typically don't use pre-mixed greens, but we're gonna have fun with this one, I think. Who knows, maybe I'm going to fall back in love with having pre-mixed colors. Okay, so first things first, let's get a bit of bright sun coming through the trees. Some of that orange glow. If you've watched any of my past gouache videos, my tutorials, you'll know that I really like starting out with a very thin down wash of color. And it could either be watercolor or gouache, doesn't really matter. Because you're going to be painting on top of it anyway. And just a quick comment about that process. There's a rumor I've heard quite a lot on the internet that basically you aren't supposed to water down gouache, but this is false. You can water down gouache, it's fine. I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video about gouache, so stay tuned for that. Glowing light coming through the bushes. And I'm not going to go like super detailed or crazy with this one. I'm just going to try to keep it very minimal, but just really get a feel for the gouache. I think I'll throw on some relaxing music and let you guys just watch the process. And if I think of anything to say during the process, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll kind of give you my thoughts at the end. like how creamy this gouache is. And then that's one of the big reasons I like the Winsor Newton, because it's not like super stiff. I can easily get it to flow. So yes, you can add water to make gouache flow, but I don't like it if I'm like forced to add water just to make it flow. So having that perfect consistency where I can just load up the brush, get a nice solid brush stroke, sweep it across my painting, like that's what I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. So super vibrant, intense painting, yes, but I really wanted to push the color and see if it would be easy to create, to get that vibrancy. So this is gonna take some getting used to. It's gonna take some experimentation for quite a while to get a good feel for all of these unique colors. And I think that'll be fun to have like a separate palette just devoted to that. So if you're into that, make sure you subscribe and look forward to lots of gouache in the coming months.